The ring is solid. It should stay that way. From a distance, it holds as a clean, continuous line. No gaps, no motion, no depth. It doesn't. A wide frame holds Saturn in stillness. The rings cut across the planet like a clean line, bright, continuous. No gaps, no motion, no depth. A small probe moves toward that line. It does not slow, it does not adjust. The edge stays smooth. Then something crosses the camera. A thin streak, gone. Another follows, slightly off. Then another, faster, cutting across at a different angle. The line still holds. But the space in front of it starts to fill. Short lines flash across the frame. Some long, some barely there. They do not move together. They cross, split, show up again somewhere else. The probe keeps going, straight into what should be empty space. It is not. The ring does not open. It does not part. It lets things pass through it. The closer the probe gets, the less the structure behaves like a surface. The clean edge stays intact in the distance, but the foreground breaks apart into motion. Nothing aligns. Nothing settles. This should resolve into a surface. It does not. A brief pause in the feed. Not a cut, just hesitation. Then more streaks, faster now, crossing in layers. From far away, the shape stays perfect. Up close, it will not hold. If this line is not a surface, then what is holding it together at all? The first impact hits before anything is visible. The feed jolts. A sharp shake runs through the frame. The ring still sits ahead, smooth, unbroken. Nothing large crosses the camera. No object stays long enough to follow. Something has already passed through. Another jolt, harder. The image tears for a fraction of a second, then snaps back. The probe keeps moving, no slowdown. The ring does not change shape, it does not react. So this is not empty space. Now the motion starts to show itself. Thin lines streak across the frame in every direction. Some cut straight through, others angle down, then disappear. A few move so fast they barely register. Just quick flashes, then gone. They are not drifting. They are crossing. The density builds with every second. What looked open starts to layer over itself. Near, far, left, right. No single direction holds for long. The probe is not approaching a surface anymore. It is moving through something that never becomes solid. This is not a boundary. It is a crossing. A brief hesitation in the signal again. Not a loss, more like a stutter. Then the streaks return, faster now, too many to follow. They overlap, cut through each other, ignore any shared path. From a distance, the ring still reads as smooth. Up close, nothing connects. If these fragments are not forming a surface, then what is keeping that line intact at all? The next impact leaves a mark. A small white flash cuts across the frame and disappears. Nothing stays in view. A fraction of a second later, a dark line shows up along the probe's outer panel. Thin, clean, like something dragged across it. There was nothing to follow. Another flash, closer this time. The image jerks sideways. The stars smear into short streaks. Static tears through the feed, loud and sudden, then drops away just enough to reveal the same field. Particles still crossing, still intersecting. It does not slow down. A faint crack spreads from the edge of the camera housing. Not wide, just enough to catch the light differently as the probe shifts. Something too small to see clearly is hitting hard enough to cut. The particles do not grow as they approach. Most stay barely visible. Some never resolve at all. They pass as quick flashes, then leave damage behind that does not go anywhere. This is not proportional. A short pause in the transmission. The image holds a beat longer than it should. Then it jumps forward, skips something. A slice of time is gone. No clear cause, only the result. The probe moves deeper, surrounded by motion that never settles into a surface. The ring still holds its shape in the distance, unbroken, unchanged. Up close, each passing line carries force. If the smallest fragments can hit like this, size stops meaning anything. Nothing here needs to be large to break it. A larger fragment drifts into view. It moves slower than the streaks, a pale, uneven shape, turning as it crosses the frame. Another follows from a different angle, thicker, one edge darker than the rest. Their paths do not line up. They are going to intersect. No slowdown. The moment they meet, both shapes come apart. No bounce, no deflection, just a brief flash at the contact point, then they split, spraying smaller pieces outward in every direction. And then they keep going. The fragments spread, stretch into thin streaks, and slip back into the same crossing motion filling the frame. Within seconds, the collision is gone, absorbed into the flow, indistinguishable from everything else. Nothing gets removed. More collisions follow. Not rare, not isolated. Two pieces meet, break, disperse. A third cuts through what is left, splitting it again. Each impact adds more fragments, not fewer. It builds. The field thickens with every break. What looked like scattered debris starts to read as continuous, but that continuity comes from constant impact, not from anything holding still. This is not damage. It is maintenance. A brief flicker interrupts the feed. Not from impact this time. The image sharpens, just for a moment, catching several collisions at once, each one breaking, each one feeding the motion. They do not stop. The ring does not survive these impacts in spite of them. It holds because of them. If every collision is creating the structure, then there is no intact form behind it. The signal freezes on fragments. A cluster of broken ice hangs in the last clear frame, sharp edges catching light as they drift past the lens. The image lingers a beat too long. Then it tears into static. No return feed. The probe does not transmit another frame, but the external view remains unchanged. From a distant camera, Saturn fills the frame again. The rings cut across it in a clean, bright line. No gaps, no breaks, no sign of impact. The edge looks continuous, smooth, almost solid. Nothing in that view hints at what just happened inside it. The same line that shattered objects now holds its shape perfectly. It does not thin. It shows no damage. The structure persists without showing the process that sustains it. The closer view is gone. Only the distant image remains. And it still looks stable. All the fragments, the collisions, the impacts that tore through the probe, none of it registers at this scale. The motion collapses into a single band of light. Up close, everything breaks apart. From here, it never happened. The ring has not changed. Only the perspective has. If the structure depends entirely on constant collision, then there is no moment where it is intact. And if there is no intact state, then the